So good afternoon, everyone. So how do you choose a bottle of wine? Most of the time, it's kind of a guess. So however, it shouldn't be. So Sylvia, Federico, Joachim, and I decided to build a tool, the World Wine Explorer. It helps wine enthusiasts and sommeliers to choose their wine in an easy way and data-driven way. So to help them, we need to ask a few questions. What drives the wine quality? So the wine quality is driven by three factors. First, you have the geography. So the country, the region will determine the wine quality for sure. But more specifically, the climate within the growing season months, of course. So we have the temperature, the amount of sunlight, and the amount of rainfall that will impact our wine quality. Also the wine type, because we do have different price in terms of the type we are growing, if it's red, rosé, white, or sparkling. So now that we understand the key factors, let's dive into our data set. So our data set is from Vivino. So it's including 30,000 wine from 1985 to 2019. So here we've put some key indicator and KPIs for you to have an idea of the data set and some filters where you can dive into the map to see the top leading producing wine countries. So then after you have some bar charts, it's like just a ranking of the top producing countries and a ranking of the top producing regions. So now we have the global view, but we will dive into the wine regions. So here is the France, as you can see, and you see some darker region. It's where they produce more wine than the lighter one, let's say. So south of France, good, thanks. It's producing more than Champagne, for instance. So this is the regional, this is the regional map. But within the same country, we can see that some regions are producing more than other regions. But what about price and quality?
So let's look more into detail to our data set. So first, we have rating. Looking at the rating distribution, we can clearly see a bell-shaped distribution. Most of our data set was clustered between 3.5 and 4.3, having our peak bin between 3.7 and 3.9. Also, we can look at the borders where we can see a low quantity of wines below 3.3 and above 4.5, meaning that our data set was quite centered. While looking at the price distribution, we can see a different thing. This distribution was highly right skewed, with most of our wines, 8,000 wines, below the 20 euros. From that certain point, from 20 euros, we can see a clearly distribution dropping to a long tail where we can see our outliers and the most expensive wines, obviously. So we decided to plot both of these variables where we interpreted a positive correlation between these two. However, we noticed that when you go higher in price, the rating was not justifying this increase in price. So this was an inefficiency that we saw and we decided to analyze. To quantify this inefficiency, we developed a value score index, which rewards the wines with high rating, widely reviewed, and reasonably priced. So when we look at the graph, we can see Argentina on the top left, which was the best performing country, having low price with a very high value score. In the contrast, we can see France with a very high price and a very low score. From this graph, we also got two insights. Italy in the center with an average price and average value, quite surprisingly for us, because it also has the best performing wine. And second, there's in the top right, the United States. That is the only country in that place, so we decided to look more into detail. When looking into the US, we saw the macro regions. So as you can see, we have California on the right, having a very, very high price for the average, for the value score you can get. However, the regions that were not known, let's say, for producing wine in the US, got a very low price and a better value score.
Okay, now let's dive a little bit into how climate factors can actually affect the wine's rating and price. So we focused on rainfall, sunlight, and temperature. And from this map, basically, you can kind of explore the climate characteristics of each country. So you can see the average temperature as well as the precipitation and sunlight. And from this table, actually, you can see what is the highest rated wine depending on the climate factors. So in this case, we see that our highest rated wine is one that has a climate of moderate temperature, low sunlight exposure, and a place where it rains a lot. So from here, you could kind of match which countries actually have those climate conditions. And there you could find the wines that are probably gonna have higher ratings. And from this table, you could also investigate how the climate factors can affect also the price. So from then on, we wanted to also investigate what happens if the climate conditions change. So we calculated a climate match score, which basically compares how the vintage growing season climate was different from the expected climate you would find for that country. So for example, in this graph, you can see that Moldova has a high match score. So that means that Moldova, actually the climate hasn't changed a lot. So it's what you would expect. But then for Argentina or New Zealand, the climate has changed quite a bit. So how does that affect our rating and price? So we wanted to try and see the correlation. And as you can see here, in terms of temperature, if the temperature is what you would expect, so it matches, we have a higher rating or price. But in terms of sunlight, for example, if the sunlight is what you would expect, so theoretically, actually our rating lowers. So maybe it's better if the sunlight is actually not what you would expect for that country, which is interesting. And from here, we found the percentages of each of the wines that experienced the same kind of climate for that country or region, or the ones that actually experience a completely different climate, which would be the highly divergent. And finally, we wanted to try and predict the rating. So we wanted to predict the rating using the features you see above. And we used this model called Random Forest Regressor that gave us a score of 0.63, which meant that our data explains 63% of our predicted ratings. And this is interesting because this way you could see which wines could actually be successful in the market before even putting them out there for people to review and put a score. So now for conclusion.
So in conclusion, we were able to get several insights, such as that climate and geography impacts prices and rating. And we hope that it's not more a guess and it's easier for you to buy wines. So my suggestion is to go buy some Argentinian wine.